Hey, happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a beautiful start to your morning, nice and fresh out there, and definitely diving into more winter or cooler weather, just depending on where you are in Australia or on the planet. You might be heading into summer, which could be exciting for you. But wanting to jump in today and chat about relationships and having difficult conversations. It is one of those really, really tricky things. Hey, Am, how are you, darling? It's one of those tricky things to really be able to speak what we need to speak and say what we need to say and clear up misunderstandings. And sometimes, we like to avoid those confrontations. So instead of actually saying anything, we don't say anything at all and we tend to bite our tongue. Hey, Kate, great to have you on, darling. So I wanted to share a couple of little tips. Hey, Marissa, great to have you on, darling. A couple of little tips definitely about how to actually have difficult conversations and how to, I guess, make it a little bit easier and to understand what's actually going on underneath everything that makes it all jumbled and makes it hard to express what we want to say as well. Hey, Dan, great to have you on, darling. So one of the things, and this is true whether this is work relationships, whether this is parent to child relationships, whether this is intimate relationship, whether this is friends, whether this is family. If you've ever been let down or hurt, and chances of us ever having that happen is pretty high. Obviously, we're all human and we all suffer those human conditions as well, where we have those deeper fears about not being enough or not being loved, or they don't care about me, or I'm all alone, or any of those particular things can be really, really tricky. And a lot of that noise actually gets in the way in being able to communicate clearly as well. And at the base of this, I would just put like a broad umbrella. Self-love is at the very core of this, because when we're really coming from a deep sense of self, a deep sense of self-awareness, of how we are responding, taking full responsibility for our life, for where we're actually at, for how we've actually created this situation as well, and stepping into greater self-love and going, right, how can this be like a place of learning then for me as well? Hey, Chris, great to have you on. So self-love definitely is at the base of this, but I'm going to take you through like a couple of different things. Number one, it makes it so messy to articulate our true message because of feelings, and feelings get in the way. And then the other thing that not necessarily, sorry, that's the wrong statement, feelings get in the way of being able to communicate clearly because we're scared of what somebody else may think or feel about what we're actually feeling. So it's the fear of being judged for actually what we're actually feeling at the time by the other person, which leads us to the second issue, which is, what are they going to think of me, or what am I going to think of me? So it shakes our identity, our core identity. Hey, Christy. Hey, Deanne. Great to have you on. I don't think I've ever called you Deanne. Great to have you on, Dee. That's too funny. So it really can shake and unground us when we're actually talking to people, because we're scared of, so there's the feelings thing going on, and most difficult conversations are there. The whole thing is there because of how we're actually feeling. We're feeling angry, we're feeling upset, we're feeling sad, we're feeling hurt, whatever it is. That's too funny, Dee. Yes, those little inflections mean everything, don't they? So definitely, just depending on what's going on with the feeling side of things, and then it shakes the core identity, and then we get really, really worried about what then that's going to mean for our future if somebody perceives us in this particular way, or, well, who am I if I'm not this strong, caring, or loving person? Am I weak? Am I vulnerable? Am I an awful person that doesn't care because I'm angry or frustrated about this? So, there'll be multiple versions. I'm just using that as a story or as an analogy. Hey, Therese, great to have you on. Now, the other part of this, and I love this analogy because it's without bringing feelings into the conversation, it really is almost like watching an opera, but without the music. So it's kind of like you get the plot, you understand what's going on, but the whole point of actually having the conversation is missing. So I really like that analogy. I thought that was a powerful analogy, and that came actually out of the book Difficult Conversations. I definitely, if you haven't read it, it's a really, really great read as well. So definitely makes a huge difference there. And if this is resonating, guys, give me lots of love. Let me know, and ask any questions as well. Like, I'd love for this to be a little bit interactive as well, as always. So with all of these things going on underneath the surface, we're scared about our identity, we're scared about what that's going to mean, we're scared about being real or vulnerable with our feelings and our emotions, and actually saying or stating what we're actually feeling as well. So there's all of that going on. So number one, and like I said before, we want to have self-love as the base. So if you know that self-love is a bit low for you at the moment, or self-esteem, or any of those things, like, send me a PM. I've got a free ebook as well. More than happy to send that to you. It's like how I took myself through through my own journey of self-love. Because I got to a point in my life at 32 and I realized I had no idea on how to actually love myself. I kept on trying to get love and validation from other people, and when we're hurt and when we're upset, trying to have some of those difficult conversations from that place, because we're wanting approval, we're wanting validation, we're not wanting to rock the boat, we're not wanting to upset anybody because we're so scared we're going to lose love. That really can make things very, very challenging, as I certainly found out. So if that's, like, I'm just putting that as a base caveat around that. Now, so the next step, or one of the first steps to do when you're having a difficult conversation, or when you're going to have a difficult conversation with somebody, is the pre-frame. So do a pre-frame. It's so important to do the pre-frame. This helps people to really put down or let down their defenses, because a lot of the time, and men might really, relate to this, is when the woman says, we need to talk. Or, even for women, you've probably had that conversation before where somebody said to you, we need to talk. And it's like, uh-oh, what's going on? And a pre-frame really helps to set the context for the conversation and the reason for having the conversation, coming from the pure intention of love, or wanting a greater relationship, or because the friendship means so much, or because you value that person and you really want to understand what their perspective is. So a pre-frame is really, really important. Basically, it's having the conversation and saying, look, such and such, it might be mum, it might be, I'll just use mum as an example. Hey mum, this has been a really, I'm feeling that there's some stuff going on between us. I'd really like to have a conversation because I love you so much. Hey Sam, great to have you on. Because I love you so much and because I appreciate you so much, and I really want to have a great relationship with you, can we make some time just to have a chat about some things? And so it sets this pre-frame, it sets this intention up front, where she knows that, you love her regardless of what's going to come up in the conversation, and that your whole intent for having the conversation is to continue having a great relationship. And it just helps to ease people as well, and kind of put the guard down or put the defenses down. So that's really, really important. If it's something a little bit more challenging in terms of, like a relationship breakup or something like that, where you feel like that's going to be really hard for them, then elevate it to the best next place for that person. So it could be knowing that your happiness is really important to me, and to you, and knowing my happiness is really important to me. So again, it's around the intention that's set forth, and doing it with a base of compassion and love as well. So number one is the pre-frame. Number two is, like, when you communicate, are you seeking to do that by delivering a message? Well, I'm going to tell them how it is. Or are you coming from the place of, wow, I wonder how we got to this point. Can I understand? Can you tell me more? I want to understand what's going on for you, where maybe, our communication is not congealed together very well. What's actually going on for you? I want to understand what's actually happening. It's seeking to understand, as opposed to, well, I'm just going to give it to them and I'm going to tell them how it is. It's, that never goes down well, because immediately the other person, of course, will feel defensive as well. So it's, are you delivering a message? So are you telling them how it is, or are you seeking to understand? So that's the second thing that will really help to shift and make such a difference in difficult conversations. In my experience, it's, there's always stuff going on for the other person. Nobody, in my experience, nobody has ever actually intended to be awful or mean or bad or horrible or anything else. Everybody is just trying to get their own needs met, and their own needs generally are like certainty, needing a sense of love and connection, stability, and significance, perhaps, that could definitely be playing into it. And the other three human needs are variety, contribution, and growth. but what I've found is generally it's about love or approval, and a sense of significance and a sense of certainty that, you know, everything's going to be okay, that can really impact relationships the most. So definitely, you know, are you seeking to understand, and coming from that context, which then leads to the third part, which is when we're actually communicating with them, are we in blame? Are we blaming them, or are we making them wrong? And rarely is it black or white. Rarely is it right or wrong. A lot of the time, it's really just about understanding, how have I contributed to the problem? Did I speak up? Did I say what I needed to? Did I ask for what I would like, or did I shut down? Did I withdraw? Did I not speak up at the time when I actually should have? Did I not express what I needed to, or articulate clearly what was going on for me as well? So how did I contribute to the problem, and what happened on their end as well that also contributed to the issue, where it's this beautiful grey area. Rarely are things black and white, where somebody's just done something outright of, you know, I've found that there's always, you know, a trigger on the other side as well. It's another great analogy is, you know, two kids fighting in the back seat. You know that both were niggling at each other. It wasn't that one kid just, you know, lashed out suddenly and punched the other one or something like that. So, you know, we're all contributing in some way, shape or form, whether it's through lack of communication, or whether it's through unintentional or misread behavior or misperceptions. And we've all got our own filters around how we perceive events, depending on that level of self-love, and that's not a one-time certificate. It goes up and down at the time as well. So again, just getting really, really clear, you know, not going into blame, not going into justification. If you're doing any of that, you're communicating from your ego, and you'll never get to really the center of the actual problem as well. So hope that's been helpful, and I'm really, really excited about talking more about this. This is just one of the things that I'll actually be speaking about on the Authentic Happiness Weekend Workshop, which is going to be spectacular, and bring so many other things into play around what actually creates authentic happiness. I'm really, really excited about that. That will be coming up. I haven't advertised it yet. I've only got, I think there'll be 18 places, but I think 3 of those may be already gone. So there'll only be 15 places to attend that. It will be an intimate group, but very, very deep, immersive work, and you'll walk out feeling and feeling so confident in knowing exactly what you need to do with a complete roadmap for yourself, and how to actually dive deep into that authentic happiness, as opposed to kind of like try and navigate through life hoping one day that you might be able to get some deeper feelings of happiness. And so we explain all of that in there. My other thing is the Believe, Be, Do event next Wednesday night, which I'm super excited about presenting. It's a free online event, so if you haven't jumped on there to grab your online ticket, please by all means do that. I'll pop the event below again, and look forward to seeing you either online, or if you're in the Wagga Wagga area, please come down to the Rules Club. It'll be amazing to have so many people in the room. We've had a wonderful, amazing response already. So come join the party, come have some fun, and discover, you know, perhaps what has been limiting you or holding you back in the past as well. So have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Mwah. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for anybody that's watching this afterwards as well, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.